won't back down. No, I won't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground, won't be turned around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down.
Such. There we go. Hi, welcome to the Tug and Mule Show. I'm Tug,
And I'm Mule.
and we're back again after a long sabbatical.
And this video is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please contact your local representative regarding contractual language and contractual rights. All opinions expressed in this video by Wonder Rosie and Bionic Christine are our own and do not reflect that of our employer. All opinions shared in this video are protected under the National Labor Relations Act. Thank you.
Okay, so today we are going to be catching you guys up on a lot of local news and union news. So we'll get right to that, and that's pretty much what this show is going to be about, is just all a bunch of just Teamster news.
Did you get your contract book? I got mine. Do you know what it looks like?
This is what the new contract books looks like.
Wait a minute. We gotta show them.
And in the West, they're all different in different areas, in different regions. So yours may not look like this if you're not in the Southwest region. But if you're in the Southwest region, this is what your contract book looks like.
So white is your national contract. That's everybody's contract. Yellow. What is that one?
That is the supplement agreement. That's the supplement,
And then we get to the blue,
which is the package writer,
and then there's like a beige, peachy.
which I believe is the sort writer.
Southwest. You are correct. So
Look
I
at the
will-
big brain on Rosemary.
I will not tell you what I had to do to get this book. But you should talk to your business agent and see if he can get because we don't have any shoes, do we?
No, we have no she's.
Okay.
We have been told and informed that our local has a pallet of contract books, which is quite a few, and that anybody who wants one, especially if you are a shop steward and you do not currently have a contract book, you should be able to get one from your business agent. So anybody who wants a contract book, contact your business agent and they will get those contract books out to you. So that is the most important thing that every member in Local 63 needs to know, is that there is a pallet of contract books for you guys. They look like this.
They're not big. They're really little.
Yeah, that
But-
makes them see they're like, in comparison to my glasses, they're not big books.
So
So
they're easy to carry
yeah,
around.
they're tiny. You can put them in your little, see, they're small.
Yeah, see?
So,
We're good.
you know,
And we like to mark ours up and put
so most of the BAs probably have like 10 of them in their bags, because they're not even heavy. They're really light to carry,
You're funny.
and they're small. So they should have them on them.
Stop.
Well, hopeful, maybe. Anyways, just contact them and ask them to bring in a book.
Call your BA.
Yeah.
Next, we have lots and lots. I know I've seen lots. More than like 50 new hires. I've seen blue vests. I've seen orange vests. and they're everywhere.
Well, the blue vest, we've seen a lot more blue vests. We've even talked about that on a show a while back, where we were talking about how the blue vests were coming in while they were even laying off the guys on the ramp. So, most recently, we have started seeing orange vesters. Now, out here, we'll tell you that. So, how we know that there's new hires coming in. Now, that's just honestly, we're gonna give benefit of the doubt to some people out here. That Christine and I are incredibly observant, and we do talk to quite a few of the members inside the barn, and we kind of have our ear to the ground. So, it might just be that we're more aware of what's going on in the barn than others. We're not really sure. But we do realize when we see the people that are in the blue vests, or if they're grouped up outside the gate that we enter at gate 7, and they're standing in a line, or if they're just inside gate 7 as we exit and they're in a line up against the fence waiting for a supervisor, we usually can tell that those are probably new hires. And sometimes we'll talk to them and we'll ask them, are they coming back? Are they laid off employees that have gotten called back to work, or if they're new hires and when they started. And so we'll engage in conversations with them. If they have a blue vest on and it says inside only on the back, we know that they're going into the ground hub. If they have an orange pumpkin vest, we know that they're going out to the ramp, and they're either going to go to the Waka building or they're going to go out into some kind of an air operation building, or out onto the ramp somewhere. And again, those ones are usually outside of the Waka building, or they are outside of Ontario in the same manner of outside of the gate or right inside the gate on the sidewalk waiting against the fence for the supervisors. So recently, we know that there was an incident recently where the company has hired several of new employees and failed to notify the union that they hired these new employees. And we still have people on layoff on the ramp.
I'm sure it was a simple oversight.
Yeah, no, it was. We know that the union, this was not the fault of the union, that they were not aware that any of the new hires were, like we said, that it's just Christine and I are more observant, and are more.
So when you see them walking by the weenie truck.
Yeah, so we know that when they're out there with the weenie truck, they don't realize that the guys in the orange vests are probably new hires, or the ones in the blue vests are new hires. We're just more observant, and when we see people lined up, we realize that those aren't regular employees. They just may not be as observant to those things. So just because they're out there cooking hot dogs for everybody doesn't mean that they're,
or breakfast burritos,
right? Doesn't mean that they're really aware of what's necessarily going on, because there's so many people going in and out, so they may not know. So when there was 30 or 40 or 50 new hires going in the last 2-3 weeks, they just weren't aware until they had found out. And then now they have filed a grievance under the package rider under section 26, the layoffs, because we do still have quite a few of our ramp employees that are laid off, and the union is taking action now. But now Christine and I did know about a month ago that these new hires were going to be coming in, because we had gotten word from several different managers and different people within the company. And this also goes to another piece of news that we have, which was in relation to the air cargo change of operations that was brought up about a month ago, that had to do with my operation, because I have 2 shifts on my combo job, and my first half is air cargo, and then my second half is inter-ramp. And we found out a month ago that in our cargo
via email.
Yes. Yeah. We all got an email telling us that on August 12th, air cargo was going to be having a lot of changes, despite the fact that we just got that huge like
Postal
billion dollar postal contract, they were going to be displacing quite a few of us combos, about 30 probably combos, and possibly another 60 part-timers out of air cargo. And we're not really sure what exactly is going on. We're going to be sharing some pictures of some of the changes that are coming to air cargo, because those are very concerning for Christine and I.
They have an entire section. Now, we have a very big yard. Like, it's big, right?
It is, we actually have the largest hub west of the Mississippi.
Okay. The yard itself is pretty big.
It's massive.
It takes me at 10 miles an hour. It takes me about 5 minutes to get from one side of the building to the other, regardless of whether I'm pulling a trailer or just driving.
On my tug, it would take me 10 because I can't go as fast as she can.
But 10 miles an hour is the speed limit.
No,
So
I can't go that fast.
I go 10 miles an hour. It's not a small building. It's not a small yard.
No.
But it's full. And when I say full, I mean we are stacking things on top of things on top of things and
Triple stacking trailers like into the driveways.
just making this enormous mess.
It's an unsafe disaster for everybody, especially the feeder drivers and the shifters.
But it's, when dispatch tells me take this trailer to the 9,000s, that's my job. Now, I get down to the 9,000s and all of the bays are parked in. Okay. Now, people start parking in the gate area. Like there's a gate area on this side that has the guard shack and stuff. There's another gate area where during peak we allow the contractors to come in and sit on property. But it's not enough room for the volume that we're pushing. And to now close off an entire section of our yard for the sole purpose of independent contractors, JIPOs, whatever you want to call them, of those contractors to come on property and move the freight. Now, some of those drivers are union. They are postal union workers, but the others should be moved by us, in my opinion.
All of that volume, I think, should be moved by us because it is now our contract. And so they're changing it where we're not sorting the postal volume anymore. We are just going to be bypassing it. So it's going to fly in to the hub, and we're going to be offloading it off of the planes, and then we're going to be taking those UPS air cans over to air cargo, and then we're going to be loading them on to USPS trucks, and then those trucks will be taking it to the postal facility, and then they'll bring more bring more UPS cans back to us loaded with postal volume, and then we will put those cans, we'll offload those trucks and then put those cans onto planes, and then those planes will go back out to the other facilities across the nation that are also doing the same thing with their USPS volume. The problem that we are foreseeing right now is that this volume is being moved with UPS planes, with UPS air cans on UPS property by UPS union employees in the Teamsters, but they're now opening up the Ontario property where the subcontractors from the USPS post office are now going to be allowed to go on property. And we understand Article 43 allows, because it says that we can that the union can allow for them to come on. We have to allow them to have a space to come on property for subcontractors. Ontario already has that space. We have the 9,000s, which was what Christine was talking about, because it's already very full. And we're going to also talk about that and show you guys some pictures of that, because that area is very full, but that's also the area where all of our subcontractors are supposed to go to drop off and pick up their loads. But the caveat of Article 43 says that they specifically cannot pick up or drop off on a dock. And one of the big problems that we have foreseeing coming into air cargo is that they're going to be backing up and picking up off of what we call an ALP. Now, we don't have a picture of this ALP because they're saying that they're going to build us an ALP over there,
It's a portable bypass.
but it's basically a portable bypass. And anybody who's familiar with a bypass, it's basically an elevator that's kind of hooked up to almost like a ball mat. And so where you can move cans around and you put them on an elevator, and that elevator moves up and down so that the trucks can drive up to the elevator, and then excuse me, you can roll the cans up and then you push the cans into the trailer. So but it's a dock, and they're going to be moving and parking on that dock and taking volume off and putting volume on, and we're going to be doing all that work. But the part of the job that isn't going to be the Teamster job is the feeder part of that job. And we have a problem with that because it's going to be on property. Okay. So where these cones are and all these poles, this is all going to be fenced off. So this is actually like a half of the cargo area. And so where you see all these cones and all these poles, this is all going to be fenced off. So the subcontractors and some of the USPS actual drivers, the Teamster, the union drivers for the post office, they're gonna nose in here. There's another gate off to the left over here, and they're gonna come in the gate, and then they're gonna nose in here, and they're gonna back up, because in this area over here is gonna be the actual bypass, portable bypass area. They're gonna fence this area off as well. And we have, this is another picture that gives you another side view. This is the other side angle. So they're actually coming down this way, and this is all going to be fenced off as well, just because they're trying to make it so that we don't have a lot of tug traffic, because we all drive these little tugs back here in the back, and this is just all feeder traffic. So this is going to be the drivers that are going to be coming in from the post office. And then this is the angled. So this is where the ALP is actually going to be sitting, is like in this area, and all of this is going to be fenced off. And then they're going to come in. This is a gate back here. They'll be coming in here, nosing over here, and then backing up to here. And so this was once all of our area, and that's
Now
the
it's
actual
not.
cargo building, and now it's not. And we're just going to have this little area over here. And this used to be an actual, and this is what Christine was talking about. This was an actual area where we would stage a lot of our cans for the ramp and volume, and we lost all of this as well. And then over here behind us is the actual bypass for the feeder drivers, and it's going to cause some traffic over here for them as well. So this is just, it's another issue that's for another show. So this is, Christine's going to talk about this. This is the actual 9,000s where currently the subcontractors go. We don't have a lot right now. We'll have more during peak, but this is where they go. This is where Christine works. This is where the meal shifters are.
So as you can see, there's 3 trailers over here. There is technically 2 parking spaces there. So 3 is not a good idea. We can't get those trailers out from there with 3 trailers in front of it. There's not enough room. As you can see, we also have trailers parked in front of the row of trailers, and that makes it difficult because now the feeder drivers have to, if there's not a shifter available, the feeder driver has to hook up to the trailer, crank up the legs, and then move the trailer, 10, 20 feet, and then crank down the legs and disconnect, and then hook up to their own trailer that they're going to take. And I realized that that's like a problem, and it's a lot of extra work for them. I get it. But when we get down here and we're told to drop trailers here, there's another picture too, I think. There's only so much space for us to work in, and only so many parking spaces. And as you can see, we get a little full, I call this here being double stacked on the left and triple stacked on the right. Because you've got the original parking spaces and then you've got the double parked in front. And the drivers have to get out and they have to walk around the yard and they have to find their trailer. And then if it's behind one of these trailers or two trailers, they have to move them if there's no shifter available to help them. So it's a safety issue. It's a mess. It takes an awful lot of extra time to move trailers repeatedly over and over because now the driver's moved it and the next driver needs to move it again to get their trailer.
And that's assuming they can find somewhere to put it. That's the other problem. Sometimes there's nowhere down here to put it, so they may have to drive like all the way to the other side of the building on the pad and try and drop it over there because there's literally nowhere else down here in the 9,000s to put it. So that's the other problem.
I know
Uh,
I update the location on the computer when I have to put it anywhere other than the 9,000s. I will update the location. I hope that my fellow shifters do the same. I can't speak for everybody. I know what I do. And I make sure that it's updated so when somebody goes to search for it, it says this is where I parked it so that people know.
And I know when I was shifting, one of the problems down here too is sometimes you get down here and you have the sleeper teams and they need to find their two shorties that might be down here and then they need to create that set and there's no room for them to build a set down here at all. Like you can, this is an actual drive, supposed to be a double wide drive path, and that's just been gone. There's nothing there. So they don't have any room even on the sides because there's two driveways that come down and those get stacked with trailers.
Which is like playing chicken because it makes it, if you stack them on both sides, you can't do too wide. It's one way. It's one person at a time. And it's, like I said, it's just playing chicken. And doesn't seem, and recently, I know this past week has been insanely busy. It's just been overcrowded with volume and trailers, and there's no place to park things, and the drivers are frustrated, and the shifters are frustrated, and there's not much we can do. And there's also a lack of equipment on certain days, and so it's a big mess. It's a nightmare for everyone. I don't know what else we can do, how we can fix it. Here, see if you can stop. Oh, there. Sorry, guys. We're
Figuring it out.
Yeah, they've updated stuff and we're having technical issues.
Yeah. They just literally just updated Zoom on us. So
Okay, so we've talked about the safety in the 9,000s. We've talked about what's going on in air cargo. So now when August 12th rolls around, what's going to happen with you?
we don't know. We've heard some stuff from the company. We're not exactly sure.
Where's the union?
I have put out some phone calls to the union. I have not heard back from them yet. So we have about 30 days. I have requested a meeting at the local on behalf of all the cargo employees.
But we've gone dark.
Yeah, but they can still have a meeting for this. So we just have to find out what they're gonna do. We don't know. I've talked to more managers than I have any of the local officials right now. I don't really know. I know the managers are meeting a lot. Obviously, the company knows what's going on because they're building fences and they're getting ready to put in an ALP. And so we know that there's probably going to be a loss of about 30 combos. We know that they really only want combos on 2 shifts in there. We're not sure if they want to keep the borrowed combos. I am what is called a borrowed combo because it is only half of one of my shifts. It is not, I'm not cargo. So we're not sure how many of us, if any of us, are they keeping. We don't know what the actual hours or days they're going to be keeping the combos. We know that there's been talk of transferring all the combos to Sunday through Thursday, Tuesday through Saturday, and not having them work Monday through Friday. So everything we're hearing is just really, it's kind of all up in the air because even the company hasn't really decided concretely yet what they want to do. And our concern, I think, as Teamsters that are in air cargo, is that we're running out of time. It's starting to feel a lot like what happened with Sunrise. Yeah, with Sunrise,
You know,
where
wait
the
till
meeting,
week
yeah,
before
the
to
meeting
have a
didn't happen
meeting.
until a week before the guys bid. And some of the problems with Sunrise was, which is still an ongoing problem, is that like the first day those guys bid, they were all held over for 3 hours and they were told that they had to stay 3 hours after they were off the clock in order to bid. But they did not get paid. So those guys were there for 3 hours, and even though they were told by management that they had to stay in order to bid, they didn't get paid for the 3 hours that they were forced to stay. But then they never bid that day, and they wound up bidding the next day, and they still haven't gotten paid those 3 hours. And so this is the kind of stuff that just really worries us. Like, we don't know when we're going to be bidding. We don't know how we're going to be bidding. We don't know who's all going to get affected. We don't know if we're going to get forced to stay way beyond our shifts to bid. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. And it's just
It's frustrating. There's a convention coming up for TDU. There's a webinar coming.
oh yeah, we're going to share all that.
And
That one's easier.
yeah, that's what you say.
It is.
All right.
I just got to make it bigger because for some reason it keeps smalling my stuff. There we go. Okay. So the webinar is going to be on July 21st. It's at noon Eastern time. So that would be, it's a Sunday. That would be 9 o'clock out here. We will be posting this on our page, and I will probably be blast texting this out to everybody. This is actually TDU's role in the Teamsters. This is actually the history of TDU. This is one of probably the best webinars that I think, if you guys haven't done an actual TDU webinar, or if you've never done one about the role of TDU in the Teamsters, I would really recommend this one. I think this one is a really great webinar. This is a class that I've taken several times when I've gone to the conventions. These ones are really good. So I would suggest everybody register for this one. It's on the TDU website. Plus, we will be putting the link up. The next thing we wanted to mention is, if you can go, I know it's more expensive for us out here in the West, but if you can make it, the TDU convention is coming. It is between it's November 1st to the 3rd. This year it is in Chicago. Christine and I have gone several times. The more of us that go from out here in the West, the better chances are that we can work together to try and get rooms together. I know that Christine and I have in the past kind of like booked like 4 chicks to a room, 4 guys in a room. It makes the hotel rooms cheaper. There are cheaper flights that we can work. TDU will help us find cheap flights as well. And we can, if you're a part-timer, TDU will help you get discounts on the registration. And so you can contact them and let them know. But this is something that if you guys are interested in going, you can hit us up, let us know, and we can try and figure out how many people out here want to go. And then I can always contact
The organization.
and we'll let them know how many people out here are interested in going, and we'll see what we can do to just kind of help everybody roomie together and get on some cheap flights and So this is something that's really great to do. There's a lot of education out there, and you guys will meet some amazing Teamsters.
Absolutely.
So one of the excuse me, last things we wanted to talk about is kind of a two-part thing. The TDU and the Teamsters recently did it's on UPS Teamsters United. You can just go on the UPS Teamsters United website, look for the toolkit for heat safety rights at UPS. This is a really great video. It really helps you to understand it's really getting hot out there. This is a webinar that they did. You guys really need to watch this webinar. It's really important to help you guys understand how you guys can stay cool inside that hub, because the company definitely does not help us. They say they do, but you know, we all know what it's like in there, especially if you guys are in package cars. Um,
Trailers.
trailers. Yeah. There's a lot of areas right now that aren't getting bottled water anymore. They're yeah, they're switching them out for jugs and just giving you guys like jugs of so you can put water in it, and it's not always that great because the water they have in there isn't always
Filtered.
doesn't taste. Yeah.
And it tastes foul.
So there's some stuff you guys can download on here. So you can download these wallet cards, and you can always hand these out, or you can encourage your coworkers to download these. One of the things that Christine found, though, that I thought was absolutely amazing, that I would encourage everybody to go to, is just go to OSHA Heat app on Google, and you can download this heat app.
I would show you, but what did it say? Something about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, is having issues with the data source. So right now it doesn't give me any information. I can't show you what it looks like. But this
Or
picture,
you can,
I can't do anything.
oh, okay.
But it does give you the signs and symptoms. Yeah, you're not gonna be able
They're
to
not
see
going to
that.
be able to see it anyways. It gives you signs and symptoms of a heat stroke. It tells you what the temperature is. So if you guys are in your truck or you're in the hub, it'll tell you what the temperature is. It tells you if you're in a danger zone, if you need to be drinking water,
It tells you
how much water you should be drinking.
your first aid for a heat stroke, first aid for heat exhaustion, first aid for rhabdomyolysis, which I have no idea. Heat cramps and heat rash. I will tell you that the symptoms for, ew, that's nasty. For rhabdomyolysis.
I don't know what she was looking at that was nasty, but she
Wait a
didn't like it.
It says muscle cramps and pain, abnormally dark, tea or cola colored urine. Yay.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to be sick if I just see that in general.
I'm gonna be like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you all of the signs and symptoms for heat rash, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Then you can go to the first aid section. It tells you what to do to help yourself. It does say that you should drink. Where did we see that? Where it said drink like
8 ounces of water.
for every 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was a
But-
lot, depending on how hot it is outside and how much you're working. And it gives you a breakdown. It is a very detailed app. I think that would be really helpful for those of you guys that are working in trailers in the middle of the day, that are in a package car, that are outside, you know, at all working in the heat. This is a really great app. It does have it, and there is a Spanish version. So that's also really helpful for our guys that are in the industries, like that are also working in the warehouses that are predominantly Spanish speaking. So that would really help those guys out too. So make sure you get that information out to them as well. If you're in like the waste management or one of the grocery warehouses or one of those. So
Okay.
But let's all just get this out to all of our guys. And
Absolutely.
so I think we're about ready to wrap this show up, and we have our
We do.
final song that we would love to share with you guys.
Yeah, you can just click there since we're already sharing.
Yeah.
There it is. Hope you enjoy it.
Isn't it a place you can get to by a boat or a train? Is far, far away. Behind the moon. Beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow. Way up high.
I love the chickens.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
I could actually sing the hymn. It sounds like we're in a
Somewhere
harmony.
over the rainbow, boobies fly.
Yeah, because he sounds as pretty as I do.
Boobs fly over the rainbow. Why then? Oh, why can't I?
Oh, look at Toto. That's fantastic. Okay.
Stop chatting.
That was for another day.
Okay.
Okay, we hope you guys enjoyed the show.
I hope we gave you information that you are looking for, that you needed to make your life easier, we hope.
I got you guys all informed and caught up.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye, guys. See you later.